So peaceful. Welcome back, everybody. We're out in nature once again. It's probably closing in on one of the last few nice weekends that we have left, and we want to take advantage of it. So here we are. We're a little bit before the golden hour, but that gives us some time to figure out what area we want to be in. And right now with the sun out, it is actually pretty toasty, but overnight we're hitting around 50 degrees Fahrenheit, so definitely starting to see the cooler trend work in. We're gonna see what we find today. Right now there looks like there's an egret over there, or what's it, a heron? Egret.
Heron?
Egret. We already spotted a white egret behind Rose. We're on the wrong side of it, but we're gonna try to go walk over there and see if we can get some photos of that. And who knows what else we'll find, but we'll keep you updated along the way. So hope you enjoy this late summer trip. Part 2. The egret was super far away, but I tried my best to capture the glowing rim lighting. So while we were standing here, we noticed that we heard a lot of catbird calls, and then with a little bit of observation, we noticed that there was one right over here in this little bush, and he was like preening and cleaning himself. I think the egret's over here. I just saw white feathers through this brush right here. And there's a little pond. Maybe it flew over here, which would be good because it's on the right side for the sun. It is here. When we first saw the egret, we saw it fly off. So we changed our plan and kind of rotated around the other way, hoping that we would catch it in one of the other little ponds in the area. And luckily, we were able to catch it in the perfect lighting. So this led to some severely overexposed images. So the main subject here was the great egret, and it's white, and pair that with the bright sunlight and then the dark background, it's really hard for the camera sensor to capture the full dynamic range, which is why you get areas where you lose all the details in those really bright highlights. Luckily, I shoot all my photos in RAW, which sometimes can save you, and in these cases, I was able to pull back some of the highlights. Okay, let's hop into Lightroom and see what we can do here. As you can see, these highlights are completely gone. The first thing I like to do is just check to see if there's even anything there. So under the light, we're gonna just reduce the exposure, and then we can see that there is all the details still there, so we can recover that. Next, what I wanna do is apply a mask. So we're gonna hit the masking, then we're gonna do subject. Lightroom is gonna try to detect it. Did an okay job. If we need to make any changes, we can click this to subtract out from the mask. Then we're just going to select a brush. You can use the mouse wheel to increase or decrease the size of your brush. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. And then we're going to just erase these things that aren't our main subject. So there's that. I think that's pretty good. And if you hold space, you can just kind of drag your image. And we can kind of go around this. Obviously, the more time you spend, the better it's going to look. I'm just going to do a rough fix on this one, just to save time. After your mask is good, you're going to click on the light drop down, and then here we can adjust the exposure just for the egret. So As you can see, nothing else is being affected, just the egret. So we'll probably drag it down to about here. We're going to adjust probably the highlights a little bit. And then maybe just the overall whites a little. Maybe exposure can come up a little bit there. It looks a little bit more natural. The top of his head needs to be added to the mask, so we're going to do the brush, and then we can add to it. So that looks better. And there you go. Easy fix. Slight spoiler, not all these images can be saved even if they are shot in RAW. So later in the video, I'm going to show you a couple things to set up on your camera, and hopefully you'll never run into a situation like this. We even got a couple photos of it grabbing a snack. So apparently there's some crayfish or freshwater lobster looking things in these ponds, and it was just chowing down. So it's actually really cool.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's like a really cool shot.
Very exciting.
Very exciting. Especially with like the lily pads that are also blooming right now, the pink and the greens and the reds. Yeah, I think it's gonna look really nice.
There we go, the first color change. I saw the leaves falling the last time we were out, and I was really like, oh no.
Yeah, there's some falling today too.
There he is. Oh, he's in the light. You see him? Not the heron, the other heron. Or not the egret, the other heron. He's like right in the light.
Oh shit, yeah.
That's like really nice lighting. He's on the move.
It's very far. I snapped what I could before you got out. Not sure if any of those are gonna come out.
I just saw him right in the light, so I was like, you gotta try.
Let's take
He's
a look
still
at
in the darkness. I don't think he's moving.
Nah, it's really dark now.
All right, let's get out of here. Go around.
Yeah, the main pond and oh, he's coming in the light.
Oh,
One last hurrah, maybe. Sadly, we're back here again. These images here at the end of the video are not salvageable at all. The highlights are completely gone, even though they are shot in RAW. When you try to adjust it in Lightroom, there's no data there. So these ones are just a pure loss. So what should I have done in this moment? The first thing to do is to review the shot with the histogram showing. Normally I always have this set up, and if I just took a moment to peek at it, I would have instantly have known that the egret was overexposed. The next thing to do is to have the highlight alert setting activated. This is another visual way to know if there's detail being lost in the image. I shoot on an 80D, and how you would enable the histogram is to hit the menu, and you're going to go over to the second tab, and then you're going to go over to the third menu, and you're going to set that. I usually set mine to brightness, and then if you want the highlight alerts, you're going to hit enable for that as well. Now, when you go back and review your photo, it's going to do this blinking for anything that is overexposed. If you don't see the histogram, you're going to hit info, and then you will see it there. If you see that long kind of sliver on the right-hand side, that is going to be an indicator that Most likely your highlights are completely overexposed. So here's where you'd want to use the exposure compensation to darken your subject enough where you still have your detail. Now, how do we correct this when we have an over or underexposed image? You want to look up a setting called exposure compensation, and this will allow you either to brighten or darken your exposure. It may take a few times to figure out what the ideal setting is, but this is where you want to keep checking and reviewing the photos that you're taking, along with checking the histogram to kind of dial in your exposure. If you're shooting through the viewfinder, you're going to hold the shutter button down for a half a second, and then you're going to change this dial on the side here. And this is going to allow you to change your exposure. So that plus and minus, where you see the line moving, going up is going to brighten, and then going down is going to darken. If you use the LCD screen and do live view shooting, you just hit start and stop. And then you can hit this bar at the bottom here. The middle is default. And then you can either brighten or darken. Another way to change it is to hit the Q button, and then you can also adjust this on the touch screen as well.
All right, so we're just about out of light now, and we had a really successful day. We got to see the egret again. Just overall, just an exciting trip, and can't wait to get back out here again. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later. Bye!
Bye.